Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so right here we have my Skullcrawler figure. I actually glued the battle damage on the thing so it won't come off. And I covered up the seam here with a little bit of the clay. I'm going to try to cover up a little bit more of the seams. But first I'm going to use a little bit of acetone to remove the red off of this thing. And also on the face here. But I don't want to use it on the main body because it's not made of the same plastic as the head and this piece. So I'm worried if I do use a little bit of acetone on the main body, it might eat through the plastic. Okay, I didn't film me using the acetone, but I got more of the gaps on here filled up. Not sure if you can see it. Try to fill as many as I can. But when you don't have the right kind of clay for that type of thing, you just work with what you can. And now I'm just painting up the this part of the body here to match with the base color. And I have mixed different color paints to try to match as close to the main body as I can. And this paint, as you can see here, the paint is a pretty close match to the base body color. So I'm going to paint a few coats of this on the main body, and then after that I'm going to dry brush it this dark gray color you see here. Alright, I think I got a pretty good coverage right here on the back. Now it's time to dry brush. And I just mixed up the dark gray paint I used on this guy. I'm gonna dry brush the rest of him now. And the paint looks a little off on the figure here. But I think that's mostly because the body is kind of shiny. I'm sure after I cover it in a protective coat, the paint will look the same. Alright, I mixed a little bit of white and black until it made this dark grayish color. Now we're gonna dry brush him. And I'm gonna try to get some footage of me dry brushing this guy. think we got him completely covered. Now we need to add some of the white parts on him. We're basically going to do the same dry brushing technique, but this time with white paint. Alright, so here's the progress we got on the Skullcrawler so far. He's looking pretty good. Almost looks screen accurate. Did a little dry brushing on the back, on his underbelly, on his arms, his little arm spikes. Painted his claws, his teeth, and his face. So far he's looking amazing. I actually watched one of the Geek Chest videos, the sort of how-to on painting a custom Skullcrawler. Watched a little bit of it and sort of went from there on this guy. I don't think I did exactly how he did in the video, but I think it's pretty close. Not gonna complain too much. Although I might go over the claws again. And after I do that, I'll cover them in a coat of super glue to protect them so they don't get scuffed up. Because this guy's mainly going to be crawling on the ground. Also, I'm going to paint the teeth on this guy. If you're wondering what color I used for him exactly, it's a mix of white paint with this paint right here. This acrylic warm beige color. I was able to get this from Michael's, but you can also find it at Hobby Lobby. Any store that sells art supplies. Well, I think I'll go over the spikes on the, almost at shoulder. This is an elbow. Learn your anatomy, my friend. I think I'm gonna go over the elbow with a little bit more of the white dry brushing. And after I do the spikes again and get his teeth painted, I'm gonna paint the eyeball on this guy. Alright, so I mixed 2 different yellows and a little bit of green to make this color for the eyes. Here are the paints I used to make the color for the eyes. 2 different yellows. This one's a little more neon-ish. And then we got this green. And I used a little water to give it a milky consistency, so hopefully it'll go on smoothly. Now let's go to painting the eye. I don't think you guys can see it because of the lighting, but trust me, the eye is around that spot. Alright, so far the first coat looks pretty nice. I don't think I have to paint a second coat on it. It looks pretty well done. And the other side? Nice, man. Now I need to do a little dot in the center of the eye. Got a little bit of black paint in this thing. So what I'm going to do is dip this little Q-tip toothpick in the paint. Try to get it, try to make that black dot in the eye. Alright, let's see if I can try to get this on camera. Alright, we got that side done. Now for the other. Looking good. Wait, did I call it a Q-tip when I was doing this? I meant to say... Now I forgot what it was called. Toothpick. I meant to call it a toothpick. Now we're gonna cover this thing up in primer. Then I'm gonna show you guys a closer look at my custom Skullcrawler. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Behold one of the apex predators of Skull Island. The Skullcrawler. I love how this thing turned out. I actually got this custom finished in one day. Pretty crazy, right? Got it all painted up, all primed, covered it in a protective coat, and it looks nice. It looks like I've taken this thing out straight from the movie itself, detailing looks so accurate. Except the eyes don't look completely accurate. See, the problem is I painted a little too far around this part, where the white should have been a little bit closer to here instead of there. So that's why it looks a little funny. But I still like how it turned out. And it still has some of its articulation, including the tail. And he also painted it so it doesn't limit the articulation. And I also don't see any paint rub now that I notice it. So now here's the Skullcrawler next to one of its enemies, Kong. This is one of the 2005 Kong figures. I don't have a MonsterVerse Kong yet, but I'll hopefully get one soon. But seeing these two together is pretty cool. This is the Kong that comes with that raptor that comes apart and goes back together. I have like 5 of these guys. And he's also got the spear he smacks the Skullcrawler with. And this is just a random stick I found outside. And I carved it to look like a spear. And even though this isn't the right Kong, these two look amazing together. And here's my Skullcrawler next to the alpha of all titans himself, Godzilla. It's pretty cool seeing these two side by side. Although this isn't how big the Skullcrawler would have been compared to Godzilla. Maybe the Mega from Godzilla vs. Kong would be this big compared to the G-Man. But in the events of Kong Skull Island, the Skullcrawlers and Kong would have probably been around this size compared to Godzilla himself. So I think that about wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my custom painted Skullcrawler here. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.